Something not that chill happened last night.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Berserk Monster Manual. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the first creatures that I've ever seen in the manga, and this cute little guy is called an Incubus. And there's really some interesting stuff here as far as how it relates to mythology from our real world, so let's get into it real quick, and then we'll dive into what the Incubus is in Berserk. See, Incubus is actually an alternative rock band formed in the early 90s, which would be a good soundtrack to read Berserk to. But no, Incubus is a Latin word, and it's defined as a nightmare induced by such a demon. According to mythology, it is a demon, specifically of the male variety, that comes to sleeping women in the middle of the night for the intention of having intercourse with them. In most cases, the women would be in a state of sleep paralysis during this action, and thus they'd be able to see and feel the entire experience, but not able to move or react. If you don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's basically when you wake up and you become conscious while your body is still asleep, and so you are unable to move your body. See, during the fourth phase of sleep, the REM sleep, motor centers in the brain are inhibited, and that produces paralysis. The reason for this is ultimately unknown, but the most common explanation is that it prevents one from acting out one's dreams. It's actually happened to me a few times, and it made me feel like an extreme weight was on top of me. I literally had to make myself scream as loud and hard as I could to try to bring my body back to wakefulness. It was really terrifying, so imagine being in that state and then seeing a demon on top of you wanting to have sex with you. Of course, for a man, the thing that would attack you would be a succubus. It works as the same idea, only this time the demon is female. I'm not sure what she would look like, but if it's anything like Slan, I might be okay with this happening. I mean, I'm usually the dom in my sexual scenarios, but, I could switch it up from time to time, anyway. Though, in some tales of the demons, Incubus and Succubus are actually the same demon, and it's able to switch its gender due to its target. I guess they're okay with sexual assault, but not in a gay way? I don't know. Further explanations of the legend go on to say that multiple attacks by an Incubus could result in death for a woman, and for a man, a succubus could actually be impregnated with enough attacks. The succubus will use the semen it stole in order to create more incubi and succubi and further their demonic species. Succubi will also, upon multiple visits, keep draining the life force of a man until they die. Now, I don't want to get into the whole no-fap praising and the benefits of it here, but is there really much of a difference between nightly succubi visits and nightly visits to Pornhub? Demons taking your seed, man. That's all I'm saying. But hey, I've been there too. Anyway, Incubi in Berserk. Well, it's one of the first demons ever shown in the manga and shows up in chapter 0b, which you can kind of consider chapter 2 if you want. It was before the chapters began being numbered. And Incubi and Berserk are very different than the mythology presented, though there are some interesting connections. They are demons coming from the astral world, as all demonic beings do in Berserk, but they are very weak, or I guess you could say very low-level demons, like a step above the restless spirits that can possess people and things. And they are formed from a mix of blood and sexual fluids of those that died filled with hatred, malice, and lingering regret. So I don't quite know how the blood and semen would mix once you die, but if they do, you got yourself an Incubus. Incubi are small, squid-like looking demons with one eye, and they attach to a person while they sleep and feed off their life force. So it's not taking your energy from sexuality, but just your general life force. While doing this, it also gives you haunting nightmares and imagery, and seemingly the nightmares will relate specifically to you. As Guts is shown haunted in his dreams by a version of himself naked, vulnerable, and running through a labyrinth, only to be greeted by a giant image of the demon child. Incubi, like most demonic beings in Berserk, are drawn to the brand of sacrifice, but I would imagine that they would attack anyone that they had the opportunity to. They are naturally more inclined to show up at night and in areas closely connected to the astral world, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say they are more likely to attack those open to the supernatural, which would also include children. They've been shown to be different sizes, all the way from about as big as a bowling ball down to a size small enough to attach itself to an elf. Similar creatures like this have been shown in other media, but often while the creature is killing you, it feeds you positive imagery instead of negative ones, making it even harder for you to want to wake up. In the famous DC comic story, For the Man That Has Everything, Superman gets a dream creature put on him called a Black Mercy. In it, Superman imagines life on Krypton as if it never exploded and enjoys years of peace. he has to give up a perfect world scenario in order to come back to the real world. There's even an episode of the series Angel, one of my favorite shows, where a small creature is attached to Angel's chest, causing him to have vivid dreams and nightmares that keeps him docile while the enemy character manipulates Spike. But in Berserk, their powers and abilities pretty much begin and end with that they suck your life force and give you nightmares. They don't have much physical strength or defensive capabilities. If you need to fight an Incubus, you would easily be able to kill it with a bladed or blunt weapon. Hell, you could probably even just step on it to death. But the only tricky part is that they attack you while you're sleeping. So if the nightmares don't actually wake you up, you're going to have a bit of your life drained from you without you even knowing it, while in the meantime having horrific visions of whatever it is that haunts you. So make sure you clean out some of those skeletons from your closet. Anyway, thanks as always, guys, for watching these videos. Please give it a thumbs up because it really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stick around for more Berserk anime manga content. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that this coming Saturday, February 29th, 2020, I will be doing my first ever Patreon-only live stream. And they're going to be slightly different from my usual ones. It's going to be a little bit off the rails, maybe some samurai sword swinging. I'm going to eat an entire cake by myself, I guess. But the big thing is, I'm finally going to check out Berserk 2016. That's right. I'm going to watch the first episode, maybe two, live, so you could see my reactions firsthand. I know reaction videos are a dime a dozen on YouTube, but I thought this would be a fun Patreon event, as this would be a good time, and who knows, maybe I'll actually have good things to say about it. Maybe. Anyway, if you want to see me react to Berserk 2016, or just come have some fun in the special live stream event, head over to my Patreon, link is in the description down below, and if you sign up for the $5 or higher options, by February 29th, you can be part of the live stream. I'm also going to be doing monthly live streams for Patreon-only members, so if you missed this one, don't worry, there will be plenty more. I'd really appreciate you guys checking it out, and I truly, humbly thank anyone that supports me. Shout out to my current patrons, Vogie, Khalid, Katrine, Bridget, Chris, and Bento. You guys are the real MVPs. And until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and sweet dreams.